I really love this shot when the Krishna steps. A lot of people didn't like our guns, especially the
Hmm.
Shambhala part. The most talked about piece of the film. I thought you were gonna say the guns, armors, weapons, and like we collected all the references, which is like the after the war, the land was completely red.
Hmm.
It's the blood was too
Open
much.
blood. Now let's get to the most talked about piece from the movie, and which a lot of people loved, which is the Mahabharata episode. So my first
Yeah.
question about that is, A, we have enough content already, which is being made from generations in different languages of Mahabharata.
Yeah.
And the information that people have about Mahabharata and the whole segment is one, the existing
Hmm.
reference. You have to try to, the whole idea is to still make it believable, beating all the expectations or imaginations of people have. So, how was that? And how did that whole translate to big screen? What was the thought?
Like it's good that you you said that the most talked about piece of the film. I thought you were gonna say the guns. Yeah, but
Yeah, we'll get to that also.
because
That is also
a lot
part
of
of
I tell you, see, a lot of people didn't like our guns, especially the
Hmm,
Shambhala part, and yeah,
correct.
we'll talk about that later. But so yeah, this Mahabharata part,
Hmm,
we were very excited about that piece,
hmm,
that scene basically, because it's
yeah.
definitely it's a very integral part of the story,
Hmm,
and that the challenge, how you really want to capture the post-war landscape
correct.
and having that the figure of Krishna there
Hmm,
and Ashwathama on that war field
hmm,
was quite challenging in two parts. One would be,
hmm,
let's say, it's about how you really want to see that that massacred space, the biggest
correct.
war in the world, and it's
Yeah.
it's in India. So
Hmm,
about we worked thoroughly on the armors, weapons, and like we collected all the references, which we can get from the our old sculptures,
hmm,
uh, or maybe some written material. Through that we
hmm,
can create our own image if you just read through few information about the weapons, armors, or other maybe the war field, how it's
correct.
how is like somebody says that after the war the land was completely red.
Hmm,
The blood was
soaked
too
in
much
blood.
that it's that it's a sludge of mud. it's
Correct.
there was no dry patch of land there. When you see the first step, the Krishna puts on that, that's near to the small plant or some
Correct. Correct. Correct.
yeah. So you see that I really love this shot when the Krishna steps up and
Hmm,
you see the splash of
correct.
blood, the drop of blood, that
Hmm,
you see that sludge, and that by itself, that that step can tell you a lot about the war.
correct.
And like to design uh, the space, we if you the Indian landscape and other landscape, like in if you see in other Hollywood or foreign film, it's more in terms of a blue side, a little
Hmm,
foggy or something like this, and our space that is more into the yellow, color palette. Yeah, so come to this, that color palette which we thought about, definitely
hmm.
the the soil color and also color of the fabric. The
Okay.
reference for that was our calendar art. If you see
Okay.
any poster, old, you know, eight- 1980s, before 1980s, if you see any poster or those artwork, of
Correct.
our mytho. So they use a very precise, kind of a color tone, uh,
Hmm.
because of its on kind of printing and its own kind of technique to design it.
Correct.
So somehow we wanted to recreate that poster feel to it,
Hmm.
1980s poster feel to it, and like being like ourselves into a limitation that which color exists at that point, we don't
Hmm.
need to go beyond that. We have to be
Hmm.
limited ourselves to uh, keeping your color palette little in control.
Hmm.
And one more thought we gave into it at the end, I say, would be like, when we open the shot, like wide frame, there should not be any other living thing in that
Hmm.
scene except our Krishna, God Krishna, and Ashwathama.
Hmm.
So, like purposely, we didn't add any vulture also.
Okay.
Like so you get this a dead space feeling, and only
Correct.
these two figure can move there. So
Hmm.
it's hit you harder. It's hit you harder than if like compared to if we added some vulture in the sky.